Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Share the video, especially if you love MMA as much as I do. Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards are fighting very, very soon. So I'm going to give, I've already given a prediction on the fight itself. I got Leon winning. But if Leon loses this fight, here's how it happens. Kamaru doesn't need to approach anything different in this fight. But I will say he should be more heavy into the grappling just a little bit and be less of a stand-up fighter in this fight. Not because he can't get the better of a stand-up exchange with Leon. He clearly can. But he got knocked out. The fact that he got knocked out or was in any kind of danger fighting him whatsoever on the feet, he needs to avoid that because his success came with the grappling. All right, so if he does that, he should win this fight. I don't really need to talk about what he needs to do differently because what he did, 70% of that fight, because the first round, he lost that first round. And up until then he got knocked out. So I'd say about 70-80% of the fight, he dominated that fight, clearly. He needs to impose his will. And I don't want to make excuses for Leon when he won the fight, but the altitude clearly was a big problem. It's been a problem for other fights as well. Most notably when Cain Velasquez went and fought Verdum with a high altitude. And I think he said he was there for 2 weeks or whatever it was, preparing for it. So clearly it's a factor. That's just what it is. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean Leon's going to go in there and manhandle Kamaru. That ain't happening. Kamaru's clearly the second best wrestler in the UFC behind Colby Covington. I do think Colby's a better wrestler than Kamaru, but that's besides the point. I do think it'll be a more competitive exchange. Kamaru must win that exchange. He needs to get Leon down at least minimum of 5 times. I think he could get it down 6 or 7 times at best, maybe more, because I think he's that much better of a grappler. If he could do that, he doesn't even need to do, he needs to be okay with it being a boring fight, again, for the most part. He does not need to do anything fancy. He does not need to put himself in danger. He doesn't need to put himself in harm's way. He needs to avoid, and he needs to circle away from Leon's legs, head kicks. He needs to have that one hand up, arm up most of the time, forcing Leon to say, okay, I finished him with that, but now he's not giving me that. So now I got to find a different way to finish him on the feet, which will reduce the chances of him getting knocked out or put in harm's way. All right? So again, be patient. Win. You have to dominate, not just win. He will win the wrestling exchanges. I think he's accepted that. I think Leon's accepted that. He needs to dominate the wrestling exchanges. Get on top and stay busy, but not too busy. Stay active to where you're winning, you're controlling the fight, but you're not being too passive to where you're just on top of him and the referee's going to want to stand yellow, because that can also happen. And fourth, don't stand with Leon any more than what you have to. Even if you're winning the fight, you're pulling away, you need to be circling away, not just moving backwards. Because a guy like Leon, who's a really good striker, he can time himself if you're just in front of him, but you're going backwards. Versus if I'm going backwards and I'm circling away from you, I'm not leaving a kickboxer or a really good striker like Leon a chance to really hit me. He's got to figure me out, and the more time he takes to do that, the less likely Kamaru puts himself in harm's way. So if Kamaru wins this fight, he has to do those things. Not that he can't finish Leon, but most likely he won't finish Leon if he wins this fight. He would have to win a pretty lopsided unanimous decision with his wrestling and giving Leon less of a chance to stand with him, which is what he needs to do.